Well, good morning. I'm Jeff Coleman.
And I'm Deborah Pinkerton. Welcome to Morning Light.
Well, there are days when the world seems overwhelmed by grief upon grief. More than 2 weeks ago, hundreds of thousands of Afghan families suffered yet another earthquake, leading to the deaths of several thousand. This morning, the panel will open the week with a Pennsylvania organization on the front lines delivering hope.
But first, here's a preview of what's coming up later in the show. Garden Spot Communities not only offers independent living for those 55 and older, but the faith-based organization also wants you to live your life with purpose. We will share the details about mission opportunities overseas. Plus, a resident will share her experience with a mission trip to Africa.
Kind of redefining retirement. I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, on August 31st, a 6-magnitude earthquake rocked eastern Afghanistan in the Kunar province near the border with Pakistan. The official death toll now tops 2,200, with more than 3,600 injured. Thousands of homes were destroyed, and get this, 49 villages completely leveled. In total, nearly 500,000 Afghans were affected.
Yeah, certainly a catastrophe over there, really. Well, since the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan in 2021, the United States has been reluctant to send financial assistance, which could be diverted to that regime. Still, American and UK-based Christian organizations like Christian Aid and World Relief are fully engaged in leading a massive private sector response.
And it feels like they're only scratching the surface. There's so much more to do there. One of the frontline organizations delivering a piece of that humanitarian response is the Pennsylvania-based B-Team International. Through Cure Hospital, a B-Team International facility, they're providing life-saving surgery and medical assistance along with essential food and shelter. B-Team's chief executive officer will join us on the panel in just a few minutes. But first, we go to Kabul, Afghanistan, and the facility's director, Dr. Yousuf Khan. He gives us a first-hand account for their heroic good work. Well, Dr. Khan, we have been following what has been happening in Afghanistan. There's a lot of heartache. I can't imagine these pictures. I've seen so many of these pictures where it feels that the rescue operations are just completely inadequate. But you're on the ground there. You have a wonderful, dedicated team of medical professionals there who is trying to help your neighbors through the suffering. Where do you begin to start? What are you doing? What can you do to change the situation and alleviate some of this suffering?
Okay, thank you very much for your concern. Actually, yes, the situation was very hard there. Our team, fortunately, they were on time in the area. They were busy to provide emergency medical care and also non-emergency supplies to the families who were affected, particularly foods, the shelters in some urgent need, and also help with the patients who are injured and provide them assistance in the area.
Dr. Khan, what does that look like? I mean, how you're saying there's the emergency medical care, and then there's the support to the families of people who are victims. But what is the speed of the relief efforts? There was a lot of concern right away that the speed of international relief wasn't getting there fast enough, that the country wasn't ready. But you're a country that has received almost, it feels like waves of, and endured so many waves of grief and sadness and tragedy. Was Afghanistan ready? And what are you able to do from a day-to-day basis?
Yes, you are right. But Afghanistan is a country where the people experience too many tragedies, too many problems in the past 5 decades. Therefore, the community is very supportive with each other. On their faith-based, they are helping each other, despite that if they have very little or more. So they are sharing with each other. And the first assistance come from the neighbors who are living there, and they are not waiting for the community. So therefore, Afghans are very resilient to help each other, and they are experience this challenges is a unity. So this is a time for them to experience the unity in this kind of situation.
So let me ask you a final question, Doctor, before I let you go. What gives you hope? I know that these are long and exhausting days for you and your team. I can't imagine you're getting much sleep, rest, or food. But how are you keeping your spirits up? What is driving you on to help your neighbors in need? What's giving you hope? What's keeping you sustained right now?
Yes, to be honest, still, I will say, our community and our people are supporting each other. They are sharing what they have very less. If they have very less, if they have a small food for their families, they are giving in that kind of situation. So that is a kind of a hope for us. And also, international community support and assistance, that is also a kind of hope to overcome all these problems that our community are facing right now.
Dr. Khan, I think you've given us a very important lesson in saying that these are people who have been devastated and hurt, but they're giving what they have, and you're giving everything you have. So God bless you and your family and the team there at Cure Hospital. What the B team is doing there is extraordinary. You have warmed our hearts this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you again soon. Well, we now turn to our morning light panel. Dr. Rick Manning, this is your friend, Dr. Khan, and you have worked with him for so many years. First, when you see somebody in the middle of tragedy, smiling the way he is, and then being able to extend hospitality, what is in the DNA of the Afghan people that they can endure all of this suffering, but still say, I'll give whatever we have to our neighbors in need?
It's something that we all have. You know, I think there's a humanity that God places in all of us, and that's to love. We find fulfillment, we find ourselves when we love others. That's not going to go away no matter where you've been born, what culture you come from.
You're going over to Afghanistan in a few weeks.
Yeah.
What do you hope to do there? I mean, this is, first of all, a lot of obstacles, a lot of barriers. This is not like traveling to Orlando or LA or even the UK to get there. What are you going to do there?
I hope to instill some hope. I know a lot of them. I've been back and forth over a 20-year period. I know them. I want them to see that we support them. We support them in their efforts. What they're doing is right, and we're going to be there for them to continue offering hope.
There's a relationship between that has continued from believing Christians here in America and a predominantly Muslim country that has not been interrupted by war, has it?
No. We have basically said we're here to serve. I'm there and with other Christians to be the face and hands of Christ. But I think it was St. Francis who said, you can't preach to a man who's hungry. You got to feed him first. You have to love people first where they are. And so that's what we do. We go there and we love them, being the hands and face of Christ, providing resources.
Pastor Chris, you pastor New Covenant Fellowship. It's a growing suburban church in the greater capital area. When you see images like that and then you look at our suburban context, it's pretty challenging to almost translate it. It's almost like you're watching a movie play out. How do you help bridge that gap when people see this and say, Pastor, there's so many problems here at home. Can we not think about and talk about that and just deal with the problems we have?
Yeah, I think when we see pain in the world, when we see brokenness and sin, it should be something that should tug on our hearts as believers. And so even if we can't hop on an airplane and fly overseas, we can pray. And I don't want my people ever feel that that's not important or not valuable. And so we go before the King of the universe. We plead on behalf of our brothers and sisters who bear his image to be messengers of hope, that people could go and be his hands and feet. And so we're grateful for that. And we want to be committed to where we see the pain for the Lord to bring relief, love, and grace in those spaces.
One of the things that obviously has happened since the fall of Kabul to the Taliban is that you have hundreds, sometimes thousands of families moving into areas from Afghanistan who are now experiencing America for the very first time. Never been to a Target, never been to a Walmart, never, how do you help your congregation recognize when you're walking in a store to not see them as whatever the politics of the political debate is at the time, but as human beings made in God's image, and to say hello and to welcome them into your homes.
Yeah, you know, it's great that you mentioned that. We've been going through a series in Genesis, and we really just camped out on how humanity bears the mark of their Creator.
Wow.
And so when we see folks, those individuals, though they may not know Jesus, are able to reflect the image of God to us in a way that is unique and distinct. And so we have stories, and there is a commonness to our humanity. And so how can we connect to them and hear their stories and share ours? Food is a universal language, and everyone's got to eat. So where can we share a meal and be sensitive to them in their spaces? So we're trying to do some of those things.
That's great. Dr. Manning, just in the last minute or so, give us a perspective for someone who maybe this is a brand new conversation to them, and they go, okay, maybe I want to get involved and start my journey into understanding my little piece of the world here connects to a piece of human suffering somewhere else. Where do you begin?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that as you started in this program saying, what's the response acutely? What can we do emergently? And we need to do that. What we really need to do is have a continued and a sustained response. And so we were equipped and we were there. We could respond immediately because we've been there for 20 years and we're going to be there for a long time. So I think to support an organization that's already there, it cuts out a lot of red tape, a lot of expense. There's a lot of very efficient ways that we can continue to help.
In the last few seconds, what do you say, preach to yourself when you feel fatigued and tired and do not want to go further because this feels like an overwhelming task?
Yeah. Rejoice in the Lord always. Just rejoice in the Lord because He is good.
Thank you both very, very much. And I'm excited to hear about your reports when you come back to the United States. And good news, I hope. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, coming up on Morning Light, as Christians, we retire from our 9 to 5 at some point, but not the work of the kingdom. Garden Spot Communities offers opportunities for those 55 and older to live out the Great Commission here at home and around the world. You're watching Morning Light right here on Lighthouse TV.
Welcome back. We first introduced you to Garden Spot Communities in July. The faith-based living community for those 55 and older not only wants to see you thrive in your retirement years, but also give back by living out the Great Commission. Scott Miller, Chief Marketing Officer, is here to explain. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Remind us of Garden Spot Communities.
So Garden Spot Communities is a faith-based nonprofit. We provide innovative lifestyle and wellness services to people who are 55 plus. We do that primarily through 55 plus communities. We have 4 currently, and we're very excited because in the spring of next year, 2026, Garden Spot will be opening the Exchange, which is a 39 apartment building. It's 8 stories. It's right off the river on Market Street, right there in the center of everything. And so we're just very excited to come to Harrisburg and offer one of the faith-based communities.
So besides having a faith-based community, you also offer something very unique. Talk to us about the mission trips.
So the value proposition for Garden Spot Communities, what we promise people when they move is that we provide abundant opportunities to live with purpose in community. And if you think about when we retire, most people, their purpose, their meaning in life is wrapped up in their career. They have something to do every day they go to work. Well, then when we retire, that's all gone. Like all of a sudden, that's
Things
gone.
slow down real fast.
They do. And then people start to search, what is my God-given purpose? What meaning do I have? What's my reason to get up tomorrow? And so Garden Spot is committing to help people rediscover that. And one of the ways that we do that is through our Travel with Purpose trips. And I guess it was like 2008, 2009, a missionary couple moved to Garden Spot. And he was a regional director for missions in South America. He had been involved with a Christian camp that provided services, camping services for people with cognitive and physical challenges and disabilities. And through the encouragement of Garden Spot, he recruited a whole team of residents and staff members and community members to go to Honduras and help to continue to build the camp. We sent teams for about 5 or 6 years and helped build that out. And so this is a wonderful way to get involved. And, okay.
No, I was going to say, so where are all the places that residents go?
So they go to a variety of different places. So we started in Honduras, and then we got involved with Cure International, and we were sending people to the Cure hospitals for a variety of years. And now we're involved with MOHI, Missions of Hope International, and we send teams to Kenya to help in their educational services that serve people that live in the slums.
Wow, that is really amazing. And besides going overseas, you do things at a Pennsylvania camp too.
We do. So we encourage people to get involved locally, regionally, around the world. We have a relationship with Kenbrook Bible Camp that's not far from here. Our CEO, Steve Lindsay, got talking to the director, I guess it was early 2024. And, you know, one of the things that we talk to college professors and high school teachers, and the media says the exact same thing, is that young people today are, for lack of a better word, fragile with COVID and all the confusion and things that are happening in the world. And they just need a good, solid presence in their lives. Many don't have grandparents, they don't have older people in their lives. So we set up this program called Grandparents in Residence. And so last year, about 3 or 4 couples went to Kenbrook. They just stay there for the whole week as a residence, right? And then they just love the kids. They provide, you know, support and stories and share their faith and all of those things. And then we had to, again this year, had 4 to 5 couples go, and so it's gaining momentum and growing over the years.
Wow, so having such a big impact on other people, but it's also impacting them too.
It does.
Talk to us about that.
Well, one of the things that is very important for us, especially as we grow older, is that we need purpose in our lives. We need a sense of meaning, right? We all have a God-given purpose. The purpose is to love, and that is really what we're called to do. And so these different opportunities, they provide people to rediscover that loving God-given purpose and just, you know, provide the love of Jesus to everyone.
And tell us about the impact from going and doing these different mission trips. What are you hearing from the people there, say, in Africa, and also, say, Camp Kenbrook?
Well, they're very appreciative for the support. And in a lot of cases, and you well know that overseas organizations, they have trouble getting the resources. They have trouble having people come in. And so just the fact that our residents show up, and they've been through life, they've seen things happen, they know things eventually work out. You just have faith and trust, and it all works out in the end. And so just having our residents come means so much to them. And then we provide other resources and those types of things. But we sent 100 pairs of pajamas to a Cure hospital one year that were made in our personal care area.
Wow.
There again, you give people of every age the opportunity to live with purpose.
Yes, very good. Yeah. Scott, thanks so much for being with us and
absolutely.
sharing this with us.
Yeah. My pleasure.
Coming up next on Morning Light, you will hear from a Garden Spot resident who was part of a mission trip to Africa, not once, but many times. Stay with us. We are back in 1 minute. Garden Spot Communities encourages people to live life to its fullest. One way of doing that is for residents to serve on mission trips. Joining me is Garden Spot resident Evie Hershey. Thanks for being with us.
It's fun to be here. Thank you.
So tell us, how did you get involved with mission trips at Garden Spot Communities?
Well, I have a bit of a history with Africa because several years after my husband passed, I worked in Nairobi, Kenya for a year with another missions organization. And then when I came back from that year and I made the decision to move to Garden Spot Communities, I was just thrilled to see that they were taking tours and trips with purpose to Kenya, because Kenya is just deep and dear to my heart. And I thought, oh, sign me up. This will be great. I will love doing that. So I got a chance to go 3 different times with the Garden Spot group. Yeah.
Wow. And tell us, what type of impact did you have there?
Well, the first trip that I went was with Cure International, and we were with a mobile medical clinic, and we traveled from one rural town to another. And that was a bit of a different experience than what the next 2 times we were connected with Missions of Hope International, like Scott mentioned. And that's a school program run by a Kenyan couple that started it. Just an amazingly well-run organization. Started out with 50 kids in a little kindergarten, and now they have over 30 schools throughout Kenya. And we were in a slum area in Mathare in Nairobi, and the children came to school. We did Bible stories and games and parties. We took them on field trips, especially the children that are sponsored by Garden Spot residents. I think there's over 30 children that are sponsored by residents at Garden Spot. And so we sort of focused on those children, then gave them special experiences while we were there. And, go ahead.
And what is the reaction that you receive?
Well, they just soak up the love. I mean, we just spread the love of Jesus over them, and they just soak that up. A lot of them come from very rough areas. They live in little tin shacks with dirt floors, and they were so thrilled to have this special attention. And the school is so amazing for them because they can be brought to school. They get meals, they get dental care and medical care, and they have social workers that work with the families. And so the impact on the children is just really amazing, on the whole family, really, that we connected with.
And what about for the teachers, too? They must be so thankful that you're there.
Yeah, the teachers. In fact, one of our team members is a former teacher, and she did some teacher training with them. And I am also a former teacher, and I assisted her with that. The teachers are just so glad for the support and the energy that we brought into the group. As a teacher, I know that to have something new and unusual come to help is just amazing. It just is very helpful.
Yeah, an amazing experience. Yeah. Why would you encourage other adults, older adults, to do something like this?
Well, it just changes your whole worldview. It just changes everything that you think about how we live here in our very comfortable settings, and to get to a place where we see families living in just small areas, a family of 5 in one room with a dirt floor, but the joy that they have in showing us where they live and the things that belong to them. We took some gifts to the children, and a lot of times it was things that would benefit the whole family, like food packs of things. The poverty is just appalling, and the way out of that is through education, and this Mohi is just doing an amazing job of bringing families out of poverty by giving the kids education. And as the next generation comes, they will be able to hopefully get out of the poverty that they had been raised in.
How can we pray for the people there?
I think just continue to pray for ways that the children can learn. The Mohi has training programs also as they get through high school, and just pray that the children can learn that God loves them and God has a purpose for them, and just because their family was very poor their whole lives, it doesn't mean that they need to stay there, and they can find other ways of providing for their families in the next generation. Just to continue to pray for God's love over those people. They're just blessed, happy people. So it has been a good experience for me to do that, yeah.
Yeah, that was wonderful, and certainly, hopefully encouraging others to do the same. Evelyn, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you. I was glad to be here. Thank you.
To learn more about Garden Spot Communities and its mission opportunities, check out gardenspоtvillage.org. Stay with us. We're back right after the break. Welcome back. Coming up tomorrow, Morning Light, we continue our Bible Education 101 series. So did humans coexist with dinosaurs? What does the Bible say? And how do fossils tie in with the creation story? We will answer those questions tomorrow on Morning Light. Now, Jeff, your closing thoughts.
I can't wait for that. I know that's a passion for you, Deborah, the almost archaeologist, right?
That's right.
Looking forward to it. Well, 100 years ago this month, on what we now know as Harrisburg City Island, hundreds gathered for sermons, speeches, and a hymn sing, kicking off a weekend with camping and bands, even athletic competition for the kids. Tens of thousands lined the streets to watch 5,000 men, women, and children march through the city of Harrisburg. Cars decorated festively in red, white, and blue. Every hotel room, every parking space, every rooming house filled by attendees from at least a dozen states. It was a rally for the Ku Klux Klan, the KKK. And yes, rally participants wore the white robes and hoods of an organization calling for the rejection of Eastern European immigrants, of Catholics, of Jews, and of course, equal rights for African Americans. The pastors of churches who spoke read from the Bible, the same Bible you and I read from today. But their conclusions about racial superiority were nothing more than a perversion, twisted, upside down, and absolutely wrong. It's why reading the Bible for ourselves every day, not just listening to the popular voices, is the most important thing we can do to guard ourselves from error, to keep ourselves from going terribly off course. 100 years ago today is a milestone we have to remember so we never repeat it again. For Deborah and the entire Morning Light team, I'm Jeff Coleman. Thanks for watching today. Now go check on your neighbors, and God willing, we'll see you back here tomorrow morning.